We are back.
Episode 3.
I'm sorry.
She's not sorry.
Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, I didn't get the ghost sequin pillow, but I got these mugs, and they're 4 stacked ghost mugs, coffee mugs, and they have different ghost faces on them, and one's like a little happy face, and then one's kind of a sad face, and then another one's a laughy face, and then the top one's kind of like this like wow surprise face. But they're like this iridescent, and they're really cute, and they were cheaper than the pillow, and there's 4 of them, and I feel like it was maybe more practical and useful than the sequin pillow, because the sequin pillow, like laying on it, it's gonna be pretty rough, you know, but drinking coffee out of the ghost. I know it's August, but it'll be October before we know it. Okay, episode 3. Hang on.
Episode 3.
You gotta talk.
We don't have a plan for today, but we had a lull in our evening because it's still a bazillion degrees outside.
It's a bazillion degrees. It is 6:30 Thursday.
We've done all of our things today. We've done a bunch of work, worked out, did some stuff, bunch of computery things, chores.
I have a webinar at 8 p.m.
You have a webinar at 8 p.m., right?
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come on here and chat.
But we don't have a topic to talk about.
Listen, the ghost mugs were a topic, okay? We could talk about ghost things all day. Look how cute they were.
All day?
Maybe not all day, but I do have a question. So I had an email earlier, and it was like, you want a Starbucks, blah, 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 if you vote.
Like a gift card?
Yeah, kind of, but I've never signed up for any Starbucks email address.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like thinking, is this fake?
Mm-hmm.
But if something is fake like that, is it spam?
Uh-huh.
Or is it a scam?
Well, same. That was 1 and 1.
1 and 1.
Well, it's like they're both nonsense. They're both useless. They're both a waste of time.
Okay.
People spam you with nonsense, but they may be spamming you with things that are real. Or they could be spamming you with scam. A scam is something you acquire, but it's not a real thing. Like, oh, here, buy this $100 worth of things, and we'll give you $200 worth of stuff. And then you spend $100, and then you get nothing. That's a scam.
That's a scam, yeah.
But someone could spam you
with things.
with all those things.
With sales.
But someone could, or someone could just spam you with,
Okay.
Or it could be nonsense, I guess.
Are there any words that you ever continuously pronounce wrong?
Pronounce wrong? You don't pronounce words wrong. You just say words that that definition has nothing to do with where they are in that sentence or that thought process or I don't know where you're going. You just use words, but then that's not the word to use at all in that situation.
It's like
usually they start with the right letter, but then the rest of it,
you know, like like spices.
Yeah.
But you call them
Spices?
No, but the H. But it starts
The
with an H.
What?
H-E-R.
Herbs? Well, that's a hard word. That's
hard.
That's a stupid word. That's an
How
annoying.
do you say it?
Because some people, herbs, you know. So I think you're supposed to go like through the H, like herbs.
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 Herbivore. Which doesn't make it. I mean, kind of.
Herbs.
But they're spices.
Herbs.
But that's not always spices.
Herbs. Is it herbs though? That's what I'm asking.
No, herbs.
It's herbs. You use the H.
Yeah, but
See,
barely.
I think I said that wrong. Okay.
You barely use the H.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, this is also very random. No, I'm not even gonna tell this story.
About herbs?
No, it's too much.
Herbert?
Mispronouncing something.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Mm-mm.
That's what we're here for. We're here to chit chat. You're the one who was like, we should go podcast.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
True, but I didn't have anything, and now I'm down this rabbit hole. Do you remember? This was a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really excited because wedding photography was like really picking up, and we were getting different locations.
That was way more than a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
Yep.
5 years ago.
Yep.
So I was really pumped.
Uh-huh.
And I come home and I'm like, I got a email
Mm-hmm.
wedding inquiry
Yes.
for a wedding
Mm-hmm.
in
California.
La Jolla.
Yeah. But it gets better, guys. Stay tuned. So it's not La Jolla. It's La Jolla.
It's La Jolla.
It's okay, but I mean, how would you know that?
And then I said,
You've never been to Southern California or out of Oklahoma. How many times have you
I'm like,
left
if the couple
the
listens
state
to
at that
this,
point?
Right. Yeah. La Jolla. It makes sense to me. And then I said, yeah. And I know I went to school with her for a little bit. And
Mhm.
she's marrying a guy named George, but it's with a J.
Mm-hmm. But did you call him George?
Yeah.
No, but did he get introduced as George?
No.
Ah. So how did you know that it was George?
I thought it was George.
But did she write it out?
J.
So this is in like an email or a text or something.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
J-O. And so you were like, great, it's
George with a J.
It's George with a J.
And we're shooting a wedding in La Jolla.
Right. Yep.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah, but it's not George. It's
Jorge.
Jorge. But but when was the Jorge part? I mean,
I don't.
this was like on the flight out.
Oh, maybe.
Like right before we got there.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because we were talking about La Jolla, and I was like, the J. And
The
she was like,
J.
oh.
Oh, this makes sense.
Yeah. And I kept thinking, his name's George.
His name's George.
It was not George.
It was not George.
Simple mistake. How would you know?
How would you know?
You know, small town Oklahoma,
Oh man.
no Spanish classes.
I did have a Spanish class.
Did you took, let's not, I hope.
I took a Spanish class
All
in
right.
high school and my freshman year of college.
Wow. I want to meet this college professor
Oh my god.
who somehow, I mean, it seems like a fairly important part of the language, the J part.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
You weren't paying attention.
Probably not.
No. Did you pass that class?
Yeah. Yeah, I passed all my classes.
See? The industry.
The industry, he says.
College is a joke.
Bro. Okay.
I quit college. I was
anyways.
talking about that today.
Yeah.
Someone was talking about the last podcast, and they're like, I thought you said you didn't like school, so why did you go back to school when you got out of the Marine Corps? I was like, because it was free. It's GI Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like, did you graduate? No, I did not graduate. It was a failure.
You just didn't like it.
I did not like it.
You already knew too many things to be there.
I knew enough things. I will say the first part of that degree, when I learned, like, mechanical principles and anatomy and, like, all of those classes, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. And I remember talking to the advisor, and they were talking about my next thing next year, like what classes I need to take. And one of them I was required to take was group dynamics. And I was like, well, what's the point of that class? Oh, you got to learn like this and that and this in front of the group and like how to manage that. And at this point, I had been teaching personal training and been teaching group exercise, group fitness boot camp for like 2 years. And I was like, I don't need to take that class. Like, there's got to be a way for me to like, I could teach that class. And they're like, no, it's required. And then he was also like, yeah, you've got to get your practicum set up, your internship. And I was like, well, I work at a gym that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And like, no, you have to go somewhere different. And I was like, so you're telling me that I need to go somewhere, not get paid, go somewhere else that's not going to be in my field, so that I can graduate, so that I can spend more time in my field. And she was like, yes. And I was like, I can't just do it at the job that I'm at now?
And she said no.
And she was like, no, this is stupid.
He said, bye.
I'm out of here. I'm not enrolling anymore.
Oh my
just going to
gosh.
dive in. This is ridiculous. And I think that was That was 10, 11, 12. So I think 1 year to that date, or really close to 1 year to that date, created Prevail.
Nice.
Like 13 or 14.
Nice.
Yeah. Random. So college isn't for everyone.
No.
But learning is for everybody.
Yes.
What are people going to learn on your web hour tonight?
They're going to learn why we cycle our nutrition in phases.
Mm-hmm.
Why macros can be a great tool
Mm-hmm.
for fat loss,
Mm-hmm.
for body composition,
Mm-hmm.
and how to keep your metabolism thriving.
Ooh.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, so if you're on YouTube or you're
on
listening,
YouTube.
you can go and comment about those things.
Yes, and
Like,
if you would like to hear
I
the
would like to learn
replay-
about macros. I would like to
Yeah.
learn more about,
Yeah.
or maybe that's something we can talk about in the future.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
If there's anything on these that you're like, go into a deep dive it with blank and blank,
Yes.
then we could spend an entire podcast talking about whatever that deep dive is.
Yes.
So y'all tell us.
Yes. Yes, that would be great.
Or if you're not on YouTube and you listen to it, then go comment on one of Danny Prevail's posts on Instagram.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
grab
we're on
one.
there all the time.
and just say, talk more about this.
Talk more. This morning I went on a walk.
You walk every morning.
I do. I like to go on walks in the morning.
Mm-hmm. How long?
About 45 minutes probably.
Okay.
And it was already kind of hot
Because it's summer.
because it's hot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And on my time hop this morning, though, it had 2 years ago that I did 5 hours of training on this day because I was prepping for Moab 240. And it made me equally as sad as happy.
Okay. Sad because
sad that I'm not doing it.
you're not doing a big race.
I'm not doing a big race.
Okay.
That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Happy that I'm not doing a big race.
Yeah, because the training is nuts.
The training is nuts and it's scary to be out there.
Yeah.
But I was like, ew, I was just in the garage sweating for 5 hours.
Doing
That
step-ups,
was my
bike.
weekend. Yeah.
Walks, step-ups, bikes,
Yeah,
walks.
I had like a block of time because there's like no trails here.
Yep. So we had changed training at that point.
Yeah, so I think...
We just started training, building around time under work.
Mm-hmm. So I had
basically.
like that whole weekend, I had like 4 hours on Friday, 7 hours on Saturday, and then 5 on Sunday.
Yeah. And that was your
It was my
third or second to biggest training weekend?
Yeah, almost my biggest. I think my biggest was Labor Day weekend, so it'll fall in a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah, a week out. And then build up to even
Spicy.
bigger. Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, Moab 240 is obviously something we can talk about another day.
Yeah, we'll have to dive into that.
If people want us to.
It's just like the greatest experience ever. But yeah, but I'm also equally as happy that the weather's going to be cooler soon, as well as equally sad that the sun's going to set before 8 o'clock. I hate that. I love the sunset at 8 p.m.
Right.
You know?
But not the heat.
But I'm over...
This 100-degree nonsense.
Yeah, I'm about... and I really want to drink out of my ghost mugs. So, it being like...
I mean, there's a lot of people who just celebrate Halloween all year.
All year?
Yeah. There's little to no rules.
I mean, those mugs are cute.
Maybe you could just, like, put decorations on them seasonally. You know?
Just like a little Christmas tree on the side.
A little Christmas tree, ghost.
And then a little sun, a little flower
A little
on
flower,
the side.
some sandals or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or, what's a springtime thing?
What's a springtime thing? I don't know. Okay, so back to it. On my walk this morning, I'm listening to Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
And he is interviewing Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good.
It's a really good one.
Did you listen to all of it?
Bits and pieces.
Oh, okay. I really like it.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
He has a cattle ranch and he's gone through all sorts of wild stuff.
Yeah. When I listen to people like that, I'm like, we have to do more so we have more cool stories. He has so many cool stories.
Oh, well, he's been around alive a lot longer.
How old is he?
60-something.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's a famous movie star for 40 years.
Oh, I know.
So
I would not be able to be on camera.
you've been on camera before.
I have, but
Right now.
yes, right now. I would not be able to act
Right.
on camera.
Agreed.
I also did that at one point.
You did.
I'm in a paintball commercial somewhere. In some
Could someone search that?
Yeah.
On YouTube? What would they search to find it? What was the name of the company?
Dang, I have a t-shirt. They gave me a t-shirt. Paintball.
Paintball? That's not going to get them very far.
It's like, it starts with a U or something.
The brand? What were they? Like a company? They were like
Yeah.
a clothing company?
Yeah, but
Or
why did,
gear,
no,
or
it was a paintball company.
they sold paintballs
Paint
or paintball
ball
guns?
gun.
That's what they sold?
Guns, yeah.
Hmm.
How
Okay.
would I look that up?
I don't know. Young Jamie would tell you.
Dang, we need a young Jamie.
Okay. So the lull.
The lull.
What else happened today?
Paintball guns. Okay, so we're testing out new program right now.
Testing new programs.
Which is nice.
Because we build programs at the studio.
Yep.
So we have a Q4 program starting October 2nd, 3rd.
Yes.
Ish. We'll have a big team meeting on September 13th to go over program design for that quarter, for
Yes.
all the workouts for the last quarter.
Very random, but our 7-year anniversary is on September 15th. Right?
Our personal?
Yeah.
It is.
15th. Okay.
It
and
is.
then we have...
What have we done for all of our anniversaries?
We've gone on...
Anniversary 1. Where were we?
Havasupai Falls.
Okay.
Went on a
Killer.
big hike.
Yep. Awesome trip.
And we were photographing a proposal at the waterfall, which
That
was
did
really
happen.
cool.
Okay. Next year.
Anniversary 2. We...
Oh my goodness. This one.
Why can't I remember? What year was that? Help me.
Help. Help. That would have been 19.
Oh, Zion. We hiked the Narrows.
Hiked the
With
Narrows
Grandpa.
with Grandpa and Angel's Landing.
Yes, and
Okay.
Angel's Landing.
Okay,
And
good.
Marilyn was there too.
Yep. 20.
Okay. 2020. Oh, the year of the Rona.
Okay, the
We
vid.
went to Telluride.
Yep.
And we attempted to hike up Sneffels.
Yep. With
We were very underprepared.
way underprepared.
Okay. And then 2021, we...
Moab 241.
Yes, but it wasn't on our actual anniversary.
No, it's
But
like
it was really close. We
really
couldn't go
close.
anywhere because it was so close.
Yep.
And then year 2 was Moab again. Same.
Second attempt.
But we
Well,
were doing like the canyon in between. So there were some like things happening.
yeah, we usually always, well, every year we go to the canyon. And
Yeah.
usually it's like mid-September.
Yeah. So it's 2022. 2023, we were in Colorado, but I had COVID.
We were bouncing around all over Colorado.
So I was in the truck most of the time. I think you went on a run and I slept in Rocky.
Did. In
Took a
Rocky
nap.
Mountain National Park.
Yeah, we were in Rocky National Park and I was sick. If I'm not going to go on a hike or a walk, I am sick.
It's a super pretty place.
It's super pretty. Sean was like, I'm going to go on a run. He had been in the car for days not doing anything because I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a walk when you go on a run.
Right.
And he left and I just curled up and took a nap. Okay, so then this year, we don't have any plans yet.
No plans yet.
But yeah, adventuring is our favorite because we got engaged at the Grand Canyon, which was my first rim to rim hike. Sean proposed at the end of it. So now it's kind of like...
Which was technically the 17th of September.
Yes.
17th of September he proposed. 15th of the next September married. And then almost every September since then we've gone somewhere.
Yeah, and tried to do some sort of adventure. Which is so fun. Okay, so back to programming. Wow, I get off subject so
Mm-hmm.
So,
So we were testing workouts today,
yes.
playing
So,
around. Because we start to like build, I don't know, like really what we're testing is we're testing like the flow of gear, the flow of movement, where stuff is, how much stuff we need to use, how is it going to feel with, 12, 14, 16 people in the room. How does it feel? Does one thing feel like we're overworking or underworking certain systems?
yeah. Like, does it all make sense?
Yeah, so we play around and test things so that when we have our programming meeting, we can kind of bring some stuff. Like, we tried this, we tried that, this will feel new. We experimented with, so sometimes we experiment with the flow, sometimes we experiment with
New
the
movements.
combinations of patterns and movements. Sometimes we experiment with like brand new exercises, which
Yes.
I have been doing for 15 years.
A long time.
If minimum 15 years. We call it going to the lab.
Going to the
When we
lab.
just play and we just kind of like look at things and we go, okay, how can I think of a creative, effective, unique way of challenging this muscle or this system or this pattern that
Yeah.
we haven't done before,
Yeah.
that will kind of wake some things up.
Yeah.
A little bit of novelty inside of something that's already pretty repeated. Like,
Yeah,
the
because
vast majority of our stuff is the same patterns.
Yes.
I mean, really, well,
It's just different variations of each pattern.
right.
But like, if you would have seen us this week, you would have been like, "Oh, y'all are just doing random stuff." But it seems random. But now we're gonna repeat these workouts for
Right.
12 weeks at a time.
Right. And it's not random when you look at what else is happening throughout the week, throughout the month.
Yeah.
Because then it's all a big piece of a puzzle.
Yes. Yeah. So we're doing that, which also, like, if you're any of the Prevail students, instructors included, like week 1 of any new program,
You're
sore.
sore.
You're sore.
Yeah, it's just an introduction to new stuff, and your body goes, whoa.
What is that?
What is this? And then we spend the next 10 to 12 weeks repeating patterns and making adaptations, and that kind of wears off.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Volume
is that
bumps, time bumps.
Right. Which is the sweet spot between, because variety doesn't produce results. It's just entertaining.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you don't want to get super bored by doing the same thing for like 4, 5, 6 months at a time.
Yeah. When I this is kind of random, but not.
Mm-hmm.
When I was trying to get my press,
When you did get it.
when I got my press, leading up to me pressing the 24 kilo bell for the first time, how many programs did I go through? And like how long they were? Because I was at a point where I could press the 20 kilo, but it was like hard. It was like 1 RM.
Yeah.
So me starting at that point and then to get to the 24, I mean, I went through.
It's probably a year and a half.
Yeah, I probably went through 3 or 4
Probably
8-week
built,
cycles.
yeah, at least 4 different 8-week cycles of very, very intentional, like pressing 2, 3, 4 times a week.
A week.
And then cycling all sorts of wild program design stuff. Bunch of really dorky stuff.
Nuts. It was nuts.
But we got there.
We got there, but it
Proved it. It works.
talk about doing the same thing. Sometimes you have to do that. If you have a very specific goal.
Very specific goals
Sometimes
take very specific actions.
Yeah, you got to get in there and just
Do you see, I think it was Nicole.
get it.
She posted, I mean, she's always, on the internet all the time, but
Nicole, our coach.
yeah. If you want 100% of the results, you have to put in 100% of the work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's hard about it sometimes is like if you do have a specific goal, you have to do very specific things.
Mm-hmm.
So like that variety or like I get very distracted.
Yeah.
The squirrel brain all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, well, if I wanted to press the 32 kilo now, me randomly like going to a gymnastics class or like whatever, like I wouldn't be able to like play around as much because
No.
I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, it would take a ton of specific work.
Specific.
Which is like Moab 240 took it wasn't it was, I mean, it had to be moving work. You know, like
Yes.
you had to walk / jog
Everywhere.
/ hike so many hours
Yeah.
a week. You just had to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other things we could do in the middle of it to like cross train a little bit with bikes and with other types of like patterns. But basically,
Yeah.
if you're going to go walk to the desert for 240 miles, you got to do a whole bunch of walking.
You got to do a whole bunch of walking. So like me having a deadlift PR or
Yeah.
something like that was just no.
No.
Like let's just maintain as much strength and
Yeah, to hold on to as much strength as possible.
Yeah.
Which is super difficult with that much training.
yeah. My lat keeps twitching right now.
Okay.
Do you want to talk anything else about programming?
You guys don't want to. You can comment below if you want to talk
gosh.
about programming.
But what would they like?
I don't know. I mean, I
How-
don't know if there's
how we
any
program?
anyone who like listens to this that really would probably dork out. I
About
mean, there's people
programming?
in our world who understand dorking out on programming. There's some strength coaches and some high level people that are out there that understand programming intricacies, like really dorky programming stuff.
What is the longest program that you ever like built for yourself to get a specific goal?
Maybe 16 weeks
For
to put on muscle in one winter.
in one winter. Was this when you were drinking a gallon of milk a day?
No.
Can you
And
imagine
I did not do
drinking?
it. And that was a long time ago. That was pre a whole bunch of education. I would do that way smarter now.
Can you imagine drinking a gallon of milk a day right now?
No, I could not. But it worked.
How much is a gallon of milk?
Like calories
No, how much is it? How much is a gallon of milk?
to buy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it cheap? Is it expensive? We don't buy milk.
I don't
now
know.
I don't even know.
I have no clue.
How many calories is it? A ton?
Well, I remember thinking that it was like another like 800 to 1,000 calories
Mm.
if I could. But I didn't.
800
It
to
wasn't like.
1,000?
But it wasn't I wasn't getting a physical gallon of milk.
Mm.
I was going to the chow hall and getting the little 8-ounce things of milk as often as I could.
Oh.
I would just take as many as I could as often as I
This
could.
is when you were in the
And I would just
service.
hoard them,
Hoard
stack them up, and
the
chug
milk.
them.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That was just the easiest way to get calories
Yeah,
in?
the only way. You could buy a protein powder and have it shipped to you
Sure.
and that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
basically, it was just to get all the protein to get the calories. I just had to drink a whole bunch of milk because that was the only thing that was readily available.
Dang.
Yeah, and the milk had like Arabica on it. It wasn't. I don't know where the milk came from. Who knows what kind of animals it came from.
Who knows, he said.
True.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Maybe
If
that was
you-
a secret.
if you-
Maybe it's got to be goat milk. That's why.
Maybe. If you wanted to
It was
put
not.
on muscle right now,
Yeah.
and you were like, I want to put on 5 pounds of muscle in the next 3 months, what
Yeah.
would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah, what would you do?
I mean, step one would be increase carbohydrates quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, at least 300 carbs a day,
There's like a
5-6
couple
days a
of
week.
key things about gaining muscle.
Yep. So super high carb, you got to hit at least 1-to-1 protein or 0.8 to 1 probably.
Sure. Like higher carbs.
But it's definitely higher carbs.
Yeah.
You got to get 0.7, 0.8, maybe 1-to-1 proteins, and then the rest has to come from carbohydrates. A whole bunch of carbs.
And then the scale will go up
100%.
if you're going to gain muscle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
What else?
You definitely have to be lifting quite a bit.
Mm-mm.
Very little conditioning,
Okay.
but still doing good cardio for recovery.
Okay.
So you definitely want to be doing a bunch of walking, video, and yep. And then you'd want to be doing a whole bunch of compound lifting basically every other day or every 2 days on, 1 day
Every
off.
other day.
Yeah.
And like pushing to failure or?
Yep. Not all the time, but for the vast majority of the time you want to push to failure.
And then sleep.
Sleep, you'd have to sleep
That's
at least 8
important.
hours every night to allow for recovery.
Okay.
Because it's the tricky part is the time away from the gym.
Is like
You
'cause
have
wanna
to have
optimize recovery.
you have to stress the muscles so much, but then you have to give it an intentional lull, and during that lull, you have to feed it and rest it with food and sleep, and then super easy movement.
Yeah. I put on 5 pounds of muscle
Mm-hmm.
in 6 months.
Yep, very similar recipe. Bump carbs, bump calories.
It was hard.
4 days of
It's a
compound lifting.
A little uncomfortable.
Yep.
For sure.
We didn't remove cardio, but definitely it was either going to be like super easy zone 2 or maybe a couple sprints here and there. No, like, there's just no Metcon-y stuff, which we
No.
don't do that much of anyways.
Uh-uh.
Because it just takes... Well, you don't know where the energy's coming from. That's the problem with
What
that
if
stuff.
you only wanted to gain muscle in one place?
You could. If you just did lower body exercises only for the entire time.
How did you know it was my glutes?
Bro.
Bro, he said.
Yeah, if you spent the
But
vast majority of your week...
What if a bro only wanted to build the biceps? What if
Then-
I want to build my biceps?
Well, the biceps are different than the glutes, but you would just spend you would portion the biggest volume of your training towards that muscle group, and then you would do the rest to keep in balance, so that you didn't create a huge difference in, well, like specifically with arms, like you would not want to just grow your biceps without growing your triceps, because functionally that elbow you would get jacked up.
Okay, but glutes.
Glutes not really that much of a difference.
Sure.
You could still get, well, even to train glutes, there's no way not to get the other patterns going. Like you're still going to get enough hip and knee stuff going along just by having to train, because you can't not get into knee flexion, hip flexion stuff without getting into hip extension, glute stuff. Be good.
You could.
I mean, someone could just train shoulders 3 days a week, and their shoulders will grow by themselves. Well, not by them. I mean, they would independently grow more than everything else.
Right. Like, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Do we shut it down?
32
32 minutes? It's not a
32
lot, I
minutes.
guess.
We had someone say that we went over our time the other day.
Sean talked for 50 minutes.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm
Uh,
kidding. Okay.
It's also because we don't live within rules.
We don't.
Even rules that we make for ourselves.
We don't live within rules. Okay.
We do live by principles.
Yeah.
You're creeping on stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at our Slack channel. Okay, so... do you guys have a whoop? We have a whoop. What does yours say for today?
With the
For your
recovery?
day strain, yeah.
Something 80. My day strain for
Well, what
today?
does it say? Like mine says, you overreached today.
Mine says...
Overreaching.
Good evening, Sean. You had a restorative day which promotes recovery.
He's always restorative. And I'm always trying to overreach.
Your strain target today is 10.2. You're at a 9.6.
Oh, you gotta
Pretty
go.
close.
You gotta go running.
Nope.
Oh, he said no.
Not
All
going
right.
to happen.
Okay. Yep, we'll shut it down.
Okay. So when shutting it down, we have to remember,
Oh, okay.
if
so
you're watching on YouTube,
please comment.
comment below.
Yes.
Okay. Like the video.
Yes.
Hit subscribe.
Yes.
There's a bell or something people are supposed to do on YouTube. Hey, and by the way,
Oh,
you can listen to YouTube and put the phone down and do other things from the YouTube app.
but you can't answer.
You can't do it.
anything.
No, you can't from the YouTube app. But if you don't have the app downloaded on your phone, like the YouTube app,
Yeah.
and you're just going to it on your browser,
Yeah.
it won't allow you to go back and forth,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But if you're listening on podcasts, then that doesn't matter. It's kind of like Spotify. Spotify is an app, and you can listen to it and do other things on your phone. So you can text and do all the stuff you would do on your phone,
Okay.
and it's still going to play.
Okay.
Right.
The Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
And
so
like an Apple podcast, too.
So now we're on Spotify and Apple
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube has the video.
Mm-hmm.
Spotify does not. And Apple doesn't have episode 1 because I can't figure it out. But from here on out,
Yeah,
we
maybe
rockin' and
we'll
roll.
figure out. Maybe I'll just repost one as this 2-2,
I
2-1.
think we need like a saying to close it out each time.
A saying?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say the thing we should say at the end. If you're on YouTube,
Oh.
like, comment, subscribe.
I was gonna say
'Kay.
like, you know,
No, what?
like
Like a saying? Like a thing?
Yeah, like
Like a
rock and
quote?
roll or something.
Oh, like a...
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
a whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like a fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, go fuck shit up today.
Yeah, but that's the first cuss word, and now it's explicit. That I have to.
What?
Did I say it wrong?
Explicit?
What is it?
Explicit?
We're shutting it down. Okay, if it's on YouTube, comment,
Yes.
subscribe.
Yes. And like.
And like.
Yeah.
And then I guess if it's on Spotify or iTunes, just...
You go to Danny_Prevail.
Yes, go to my Instagram.
And then, yeah, there should be a post or a reel that says episode 3.
There should be. I will
Prevailations.
start making those.
And then you could comment on that.
Yes.
You could, hey, go and like that. Comment that. Comment what you hated or loved about this or wanted us to talk more about.
Yes. I mean, any type of comment, like, share
Mm-hmm.
with content creation is always appreciated if you like it, because
Yeah.
then we know.
Yeah. And that's just what the algorithm like wants to know. And I think when we say that,
Yeah.
and it's not like and comment, subscribe so that we'll reach bazillions of people. No, we say that just so that the people following us will see it.
Yes.
Because the algorithm only shows like 10 or 15%. Like it only shows the content to like 10-15% of your people who are already following you.
Yeah.
So just engaging in our stuff means that just the people who follow us will actually see it,
Oh.
let alone people beyond who follow us.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Okay, so comment, like, subscribe, share.
Yeah. Danny_Prevail. Okay.
Peace. Rock
Peace,
and roll.
peace, rock and roll.
Coffee.
Co-
ghost
co-
coffee mugs.
Ghost days. Ghosts.
Boo.
Are you going to put a ghost energy drink inside your ghost coffee mug?
Shut it down. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.